Hasta la vista, baby.
The trouble with Scotland is that it's full of Scots.
When things look bad, and it looks like you're not gonna make it, then you gotta get mean. I mean plumb mad dog mean. Because if you lose your head and you give up, then you neither live nor win. That's just the way it is.
Your assignment tonight is strategic. You can't give the enemy a break. Send them to hell.
Welcome to VP4 TV, a Tactical Genius production. Here is a list of upcoming matches in the 2023 Virtual 9-Ball World Championships. I try to stream what I think will be the best matches to watch and offer a good standard of play. Please subscribe to my YouTube and Twitch channels so you can join in the stream chat.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to VP4 TV. We are here with a match that's going to go at the top of the hour. Welcome to Semi-Pro, LS3, One Pocket Slim, and anybody else that's there. We have a round 3 match tonight between Poolkabouter from the Netherlands and Brainfellout from the UK, and the winner of this match will be One Pocket Slim's next opponent. Well, it looks as if Stubbs going to be playing his match with Rabi. I think proposals just been sent through, so that match may well be going when this one's going, but we're sticking with this one. We'll keep an eye on any other matches if they do start while this one's going. I'm going to sit in the fence in this one. I haven't a clue what way this is going because I've not really seen Poolkabouter play. And it could be close then on that assumption, so I don't know. Again, once I've had a look at them for a few minutes, we'll have a better idea. So, going back to this.
Welcome to VP4 TV, a Tactical Genius production. Here is a list of upcoming matches in the 2023 Virtual 9-Ball World Championships. I try to stream what I think will be the best matches to watch and offer a good standard of play. Please subscribe to my YouTube and Twitch channels so you can join in the stream chat.
So the matches that have been arranged since the other night is the one between Cobra and Spectre Dawn. That is going to be for a week on Saturday, I believe. We've got this match tonight. We've got Interchange X supposed to be playing Lard midnight tonight, my time. And Spudboy is geared up to play Snake Eyes at 2:30 AM in the morning. Again, Snake Eyes, according to his flag, is from the UK. Why he's playing a match at 2:30 in the morning is beyond me. But anyway, he's done it to suit Spudboy, and that's fair's fair if that's the case. Bill and Chimpy, that is my next scheduled live stream, and that will be on Saturday at 7 PM. And of course, that's a one-loss side match, so somebody's going to have to go. Then, of course, we have another good one-loss side match we're looking forward to. LS3 has to overcome Nick, and we've seen how well Nick runs tables given the chance, and that is going to go ahead next Wednesday and then that will be followed at the moment with the match between Cobra and Spectre Dawn. So that is it as far as matches go. Now that chat app I was talking about last night that I've got on my main screen, last night it was feeding in the chat also via Restream, because Restream sends both chats. Whoever's watching on Twitch should be seeing what's coming through from Semi-Pro on Twitch, on YouTube, but for some reason I'm now not getting that feed, so this app might be a bit dodgy in terms of reliability. All I'm seeing is Twitch chat. I'm not seeing any YouTube chat coming through on it for some strange reason, but it was last night. Anyway, that's by the by. We are almost at the top of the hour. We will get set to go. I'll get rid of that if I can remember what I'm doing. Hang on a minute. What's happened here? Oh, that's the wrong button. That's why. That's better. Well, again, I've not really seen Rabbi playing. Anyway, the room's up, and so is the match between Stubb and Rabbi, or Rabbi. Right, we'll head in. Yeah, well, I'm only doing this because I've still got the rest of the week off. So Poolkabouter's on the right, Brainfellout on the left. Well, as far as ratings go, they're fairly evenly matched, as they are on the lag as well. Very good lag. That's probably the best lag of the tournament by two players at one time that we've seen just there. And let's see if the audience is in. Yes, we've got a crowd in. Yeah, of course, you can watch this match and all matches that I stream. They're on my playlist on YouTube. So straight away, Brainfellout has a good table. And, well, it's obvious there doesn't seem to be a problem. But there's just got himself a wee bit awkward on this 3-ball here. This side pocket could come into play, but he's managed to hold the line, and that's a good angle as well, so everything looks fine. Now, how does he get on the 8-ball? Well, this is a bit straight. This 5-ball, he can pinch an angle if he wanted to go forward, but he's going to have to jack up if he's not going to do that. No, I don't think I would have been happy with that line. I would have much preferred to try and get that a more comfortable line. Well, he should get it. Yeah, he's happy with that. Of course, minimalist approach is not a bad thing either. The less you move the cue ball, the less you're likely to run into trouble. So a good start for Brainfellout. Quickly followed by the usual, a dry break, and look at the table. We've got the 2-ball dead in the rail on the left side. 9 balls blocking it, 8 balls blocking the 9 ball as well. I think it looks pretty tight. So, and that looks maybe pretty tight to the rail for the bank as well, this 2-ball. Just let me have a quick tab out just in case. Hold on a sec. I'll be back in a second. This, because I'm on desktop mode, you'll get a black screen for a second. Right, I'm just going to kill Discord, and then that'll be one less resource that's running. Right, we're now good to go. Well, it clearly might end up being a bit more tactical, this rack. I mean, the 9 ball's freed up now. 2 balls obviously still in the table. 3 ball might be tight past the 7. Well, a good opportunity for Brainfellout to put Poolkabouter in trouble here. I don't know that there's great value in the banks, certainly because you're not guaranteed you're going to get the 3 ball. This 7 ball would be in the way, possibly trying to get in around the corner. Now he went for the bank, and actually he ran into the 7, which wasn't a bad thing. So we'll see how good Poolkabouter from the Netherlands is with the jump stick. Good evening to Mooncake. Yeah, that's strange. It's strange how YouTube was working last night. Now, anything that Semi-Pro says only appears on my restream. It doesn't appear. You guys that are watching on Twitch, if you look at the chat, are you seeing Semi-Pro's chat coming through to you on Twitch? So give me a yes or a no. So you are seeing Semi-Pro's chat coming through. That's strange, that why it's not coming up in this app when it was. Anyway, I'll worry about that another time. So Brainfellout now has, well, I think looking at the table, the 6 ball just looks a bit tight. The 6 ball's really the only problem. One, the 2 ball and the 3 ball, not a problem. Getting it up the table and not hooking yourself behind the 8 to drop that 4 into the side isn't a problem. And the 5's handy up there where it is. So the 6 is the major problem here in finding your way out. It's partially blocked by that 7 ball. It's very tight. And he's going to end up hooking himself, I think. Yep. Commentator's eye. Yeah, Stubb. I mean, I had it in my mind that Stubb might not have a lot of problems getting through these 2 matches I was talking about. Because if you remember the stream before last, I was talking about the path that the 1 loss side was taking, and if everything goes according to plan, that's provided Mr. Fox does his stuff. He's still got to. In fact, I can't remember whether he's still to play his other match, but then if he does win, he'll play his ad. And if he beats his ad, he's more than likely going to be playing Stubb. Now, if Stubb starts taking liberties and getting far too loose and careless like he normally is anyway, he could ship a few racks that he shouldn't be. Because he didn't play great in his last match. Not what I would call with a great deal of sense. So Poolkabouter gets the hit in the 5, doesn't get it safe, but I don't think the 6 ball's actually moved anywhere. See, that 6 ball will go in off the left side of the pocket, but again, you know what we're talking about, you've got to get right behind it to be playing that comfortably. Well, the closer he gets to the 7 ball, the better chance he has of getting a 6 in. This is not easy. Completely blind pocket. I don't believe he'll. Well, he looks as if he's. He looks as if he's. I don't know what he's doing here. So he trying to squeeze it past the 9. There's room past the 9. That isn't there though. And well, it would have been better if it had rolled right onto the 9, wouldn't it? Yeah, that was. It wasn't all that difficult, the 7 ball. So, just run into the table. Not a lot of power in this. Just drop the 7 in. Try and stop the pace in the cue ball. And again, you can see how much running the cue ball had there. He hit that a wee bit too hard. Problem now is he might be taking some of this 9 ball. Let's have a look. More than likely, now he has to hope he gets a lucky hit in the 9 here, unless he takes evasive manoeuvres. It cuts comfortably into the side. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why now, because he was obviously worried about holding for the 9. But he might have been better to cut that 8 ball into the pocket and let the cue ball run then. A wee bit of pace in it, and even if he hit the 9, he bumped it out into the table somewhere, he'd be unlucky not to have had a shot. So, with that bank, if it had worked out, everything would have been fine. So, we've already seen the error from Poolkabouter, but he's got away with it. Cue ball's running, 5 balls dropping in. No shot in the 1. Well, I mean, now this is a thing I talk about as well. Whether a player's going to be one-dimensional, he sees the 1 ball, he knows it cuts up table, but he's got a good chance of getting a safety here as well. Now I'm not sure what that was. I'm not sure whether it was. I mean, if it was a safety, the 1 ball should be up by where the 7 ball was. It was a sort of. It looked like a sort of half-hearted attempt like a cut in the side. It's just hard to work out what it was. But again, the error and Brainfellout pretty much gets away with it. This is a tight jump to keep the cue ball in the table. Yeah, that's the tough thing about it. Quick look at the bracket. We can see that Mr. Fox is still to play Simanx. Their deadline is March the 11th, which is 2 days' time, so already they're running out of time for that match. And Stubb and Rabbit are well underway. Meanwhile, Brainfellout has again a good table. Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying, Slim. He's not playing the game. He's not playing the table. He's taking liberties with a player that he thinks he should be beating, no problem. And at the end of the day, he might do that, but he's shifting racks that he shouldn't be because he's not playing the right way. And that's the downside to his game, where he's not trying to keep You know, he's not endeavouring to keep a good standard all the time, and that's what's letting him down. And then when he comes up against trouble, he's floundering. So Brainfellout guaranteed a shot in the 8 ball, just got to focus in the 7. And, well, I say guaranteed, and he still is okay. Well, quick look at the 8 ball. I mean, all this is an absolute dink into the corner. Like that. Again, just simple. So, into rack number 4, Brainfellout. Again, main objective, looking to build a little lead. That 2 ball might just have come into play there. What went? The 4 ball and the 8 has gone. That 1, quick look around. Well, the 1 comfortably goes. It's just about reading the angle. The only worry here with this is you're hitting this plain ball. You don't do an awful lot with the cue ball. You could end up in behind the 5 and 6 here, or at least bumping into them. And that still might not be a bad thing. If he actually caught the 6, it probably wouldn't do him any harm. He'd still have a decent enough cut in the 2. So he shouldn't be trying to be too heroic here. And that's nowhere near the line to be potting at. I think there's a bit of nerves from Brainfellout. I think, well, he obviously knows that I'm streaming it, but he needs to settle himself down. So, again, the problem ball is a 6. But if you get yourself obviously right onto that right side long rail, you're ideal for lining up a combo. I think, let's have a look at the angle here. What's he got? He's the wrong side of the 5. I mean, he's the wrong side. If he was straight, he could have just rolled through and played the cut up the or down the table towards us. That's what he's still trying to do, but you see how the cue ball with that angle's running away. This is not easy, because the cue ball's got to go 2 rails to get back across for this 7 ball. That's a good shot. Didn't even need to go the 2 rails. Well, he hit the right side rail, didn't he? That's 2, 1 and 2, 1 and the other one's 2. Basic arithmetic we're talking here. So these mistakes are costing racks. Brainfellout had a good chance here to stretch the lead. Yeah, this match has got a pattern about it that even already could end up going a long way, this match. Well, the 5 and 6 up top. Well, I was about to say the 5 and 6, not the 5 and 6. It's the 3 and 6. I mean, they're a combo. And Poolkabouter's missed the 2. And Brainfellout just needs to roll the 2 in so that he can still see the 3. Nice and gentle. Doesn't need to be fancy again. Well, that's not nice and gentle. And again, he needs to get the idea what nice and gentle means, because he's got himself hooked. He still might be able to get this if he just chips the 3, but there's a danger of him catching the 4 if he gets to the rail too soon. Yep, and that's what's happened. So it's all a bit. Did he get that? Wow, he must have just skimmed the 3. It looked as if he hit the 4. Well, he did hit the 4, but it looked as if he hit it first and didn't get near the 3. But anyway. Again, that's what the players looking at the jump escape. Again, this is a bit too close. I don't know that he's got the cue up high enough. Yes, he has got the hit, but only caught the top of the ball. And Poolkabouter again I think he's got a nice enough angle in this 3 to stun down. Well, I think he can still pot this and stop the cue ball. Well, he's just running it dead weight. Is it going to get into the hole? Well, that's what happens. You know, you've got to make sure you're. You know, even if he'd ran up the table a bit further, then he still had a pot. So there's been a whole bucket load of unforced errors here in this match, and I think that's the pattern it's going to take. Players around about the 2000 mark struggling to string balls together. Good evening to Chimpy. So, Brainfellout snatches the lead back. 8 ball has gone. 1 ball cuts into the side. I'm pretty certain it does. Yes, it does. And he might need to ride his luck here with what sort of collision he gets in this 2 ball. I mean, you could try and dig in and spin away from the 1 so he doesn't go into the 2. Well, he's played it gentle. And I think it still cuts. Cue ball's running all over the shop though. He's looking at the 3. I don't think there's much point in looking at the 3 because this is going to have to run and then just hope that he gets a sight on it. Well, the cut's on. You see it's a struggle. It's a struggle. And, you know, this, as I said, I think this is the sort of pattern we're going to get. Oh, Cobra's up late. Good evening to Cobra. You must not be working tomorrow, Cobra. Or is it one of those 2 to 10 o'clock shifts? Well, Stubbs' match is underway. Meanwhile, the gentleman from the Netherlands, Poolkabouter, looking to square the match. He's going to have work to do here, though. He's got to get into this cue ball big time. And got to hit this 7-ball sweep. Now you can either go forward or come back. And that looks a nice pace. It looks nice. That will do it. Or just get back from work. Well, you'll still want to get to bed then. So, we're back all square. No problem up top with the 2-5 combo. And there could be a possible attempt at the 1-9 combo here by Brainfellout. I mean, it's no, in fact there won't be because you can't see it. Well, he's still, I mean, the 3 ball's locked up, so I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be having a pop at this and trying for the combo. Well, 11:30 AM's not a bad start in the morning. Cue ball's going to head in. Oh. I mean, that means, you know, you can go to bed at midnight and you'll still have a good night's sleep and be up in plenty of time for work. When I worked in Curry's, I mean, once before the superstore opened in the town, we used to just be a high street store, and it was you were in at work at 8:30 in the morning to get the store ready. You were open at 9, and you shut at 5:30, and that was your shift. You had a break in the morning, and then you had your lunch of an hour, and then you were finished at 5:30. Then the superstores started opening, and then I remember my shift was again 8:30 until well, it wasn't 8:30. You were in at 8:30. Your shift started at 9, and you were on till 5:30, or you then had at least maybe 1 or 2 shifts during the week where you were in from you started at noon until 8 o'clock. We used to be open to 8 PM at night, but and then of course you'd get home, have something to eat, a bit of telly, go to bed at midnight, and you'd be back. You know, you were sort of working normal hours. You could handle those sort of shifts, but now, I mean, 4 o'clock in the morning. That definitely, I'll tell you, I'm definitely showing signs of wear and tear from that. I've been doing it for almost 9 years now. But 4 o'clock in the morning is not a good starting time to get up, especially when you're not getting enough bloody time in bed the night before, which I've been doing for 9 years as well. I should be going to my bed about 8:30, and I'm more often than not it's after 10, which is stupid. Stubb hardly takes anyone serious. That's going to be his downfall. Don't think Hugh has plans to you know what, the Stubb match. No, I'm sticking with this because this was the one that I was. This is the one that I was that I decided to do. The Stubb match was arranged at in the last half an hour when Stubb was in the lobby and Rabbie just appeared, and then Stubb said for him to send a proposal, and that was it. They set the match. when you look at the pace that this match is going at, we're what, 3 racks all? What's the score in the stub match? Is it the same? Quick look. Where are we? 4-3 to Rabbi. Or Rabbi. Well, I'll get more interested in that match as it gets nearer the time. If it's still close, then I might drop in and have a look. Meanwhile, Brainfellout back into the lead, ball in the break, shot no, he hasn't got a shot in the one. That's a bloody 9 ball. The 1 ball. Where the hell's the 1 ball? Oh, that is the 1 ball. That's a 9 ball over the side. You can tell I'm tired. Yeah. Well, again, he didn't hit that quite as hard. I mean, he should still be able to see the 3 ball. But he needs, see, with this angle, he needs that wee bit more control just to stop the cue ball leaking away too far. So now just pot the 3, bounce off the shot rail high enough. And there's plenty of room to do that. I mean, you can get to the rail, bounce up to here. Even if he bounces up to here, he can still stun the 5 in and drop behind the 6. So he's got loads of room to work with. He's got to get high enough. So again, that just leaves him more work to do. Anywhere up there, fine, not a problem. This angle, slight problem. And this is where the control of the cue ball is. He's dinking it through. Now he's got the high angle in the 6. And it wouldn't do any harm if he hit the 8 ball fairly firm while he's rolling up the table. He's missed it. That'll do it. So I'm trying to remember that. I mean, this might be, and I might be tempting fate saying this, but it might be the first time somebody's got 2 in front in this match. And it certainly should be Brainfellout. So it's a 5 racks to 3 lead, and I will be back in 1 minute. Right, I'm back. Well, the forecasters weren't sure how far north this snow was going to get. They did say this cold front that was moving through central and northern England may or may not get into the south of Scotland, southwest Scotland. And I've had a wee look out just now, and we've got a few flakes of snow. It's not going to come to anything. And meanwhile, we have Poolkabouter at the table, hooked in the 4. Don't know that that's the right line though. Absolutely nowhere near it. I mean, again, as soon as you look at that, I mean, my natural instinct tells me that was never the line to get to that 4 ball. But you can see that when these players are floating around 2000, that there's a lot of the aspects of the game where they're not as good. Being able to just sort of naturally see the line to that 4 ball, if you've played the game long enough and often enough, you would be able to pick a better line to that 4 ball than what Poolkabouter did there. Well, there's one way to resolve a problem.
Let's watch the replay of that last shot.
Of course, that's the bonus, you know, the 5 ball going in the pocket. What has to happen now is his Brainfellout has to run out. And again, it shouldn't be a problem. And he should be stopping the cue ball where the 6 is. You know, let's have a look. You see the cue ball's just heading away from the 8 ball. So now he has to be getting this to the rail to get out, to get a line. Whereas if he had left it the other side, he just drops down onto the little things like that, subtle things like that, especially when there's more balls running around, then that's what makes the difference in the higher echelons of the game. The better players see all those little things. It might be nitpicking, but you know, it's the important little things like that that eventually add to your game. The little subtle things. It's not just a case of, oh, there's 3 balls left on the table, I just need to get on them. You know, you've got to get on them in a certain way. But Brainfellout has a gap, and now he has to defend that gap, and he has to push on. Poolkabouter gets the jump, but doesn't get the pot. Is he going to get lucky? I'm not so certain. Quick look and see if there's enough room. Well, he is lucky. I mean, you can spin the cue ball into the 2, a bit of right. The odds are you're going to push the 2 to the rail and it's going to come out. It's a bit tight. Well, you know, this is a thing that Steve was talking about how he plays, and it's a thing that I've spoken about loads of times as well. I mean, whenever you break in a game, well, you know, whether it be 9 ball or 8 ball or whatever, it's all about getting that road map in your head of where you're going. And once you've made that decision, that's the route you follow. Unless something crops up, and then you then have to maybe find a detour. But you know, when a table's wide open, there's not an awful lot of thinking needed. For more experienced players, it's an autopilot thing. But maybe for players round about this level, they do have to be a bit more certain in what they're doing. Of course, the other side of it is the technical side of it of actually potting a ball. This, I mean, you can hit the 4-ball full in the face, but you're only going to bank it. It's hard to say whether that would have been a good line for a bank. The 9-ball looked partially in the way anyway. Well, this is just a feather dink on the 4 with a wee tiny bit of right on the cue ball. See, that's no good. What you wanted to do was just feather that 4-ball, dink the cue ball to the rail. The little bit of right English tries to get you in behind covering that 5-ball. Well, it's going to be another test for Poolkabouter with his jump stick, because I mean there is an angle behind the 9-ball to kick the 4, and this time he's got it. See, that angle was possibly more easier to see than the one I was talking about earlier on, but he hasn't got it safe. I'll have a quick drink. Oh, it's a bit straight in the 5. He needs to watch that he's not taking a line off this 5-ball if he's drawing and then draws into the hole. Doesn't look as if he is. No, he's in fact he hasn't got anything into the cue ball. I mean, that should have come back a good 2 or 3 inches there. This is he's left us really tough. Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, you know, going back to the little things like that, where he's on that 6-ball, he might have been scared about drawing off the 6-ball for fear of scratching, but you've got to be brave enough to try the stun draw. And now he's been gifted a go anyway because Poolkabouter scratched. Now, is he leaving this 2 straight in this 7-ball? He's got a little angle. Well, we've seen Brainfellout been a bit dodgy with these sort of cuts. I think he's missed 2 of them so far. And this time he's got it. Well, as long as Poolkabouter keeps making more errors than Brainfellout, the odds are that Brainfellout's going to win this match. He's got a 4-rack gap now. 3-ball goes in. He's got a cut in the 1-ball into the left side. Now, I would suggest that he gets this cue ball. Now, I wonder whether it's... Right, I think I'd be stunning this in. I'd be stunning this in to come up table. You've got to find a line where you're not running into traffic. But I'd want the 2-ball into the side. See, that was never played with any sort of confidence whatsoever. You see, this is about... Again, this is why I watch these matches and I watch what these players are doing. You know, that's nowhere you want to be in this 2-ball. Not in a month of Sundays do you ever want to be playing that 2-ball there. That 2-ball should have been played from the bottom end of the table into the side. And this is why things like that end up happening. You don't get anywhere near good on the shot and you keep making errors. And this is where these players should be looking to improve their game. It's all about thinking about that shot. Now, if Brainfellout's thinking about things, he wasn't thinking about how to make his life easier there and stun off the bottom rail and get the cue ball up that table. He was chickening out. He's played the chicken out shot. And things like that as well, just give that wee bit more encouragement for your opponent that's trailing. But I think there's still going to be a whole stack of opportunities for either player, and this match could quite easily turn the other way. It's one of those type of matches. It could very easily turn the other way within 2 or 3 racks. Or, on the other hand, it could completely run away from Poolkabouter if he doesn't get his wits sorted out. Now here's an example here. He's on the 6 ball, and if he just comes back or leaves the cue ball right there, see, he's left it leak away. You know, again, that's no good. You know, because it's VP4, you can more or less get away with these sort of things and firing balls from a long distance. But, you know, again, I'm going to be critical. He's just left that cue ball leak away with no need to. And this is where he's bailed out, you know, down the table and leaving himself a long 8 ball. So, I think Brainfellout needs to watch this. He needs to watch this video, and he needs to be a bit braver with his shots, because I think he's chickening out far too often. And he'll be surprised at how more, you know, if he just becomes more assertive. If he knows, does he not know how to stop the cue ball? No, I don't think that's the case. I think the problem is he's not got the nerve to start playing the right shot. This bailout type of play is no good. It's no good if you're going to survive long enough in these sort of tournaments. Well, it's getting a bit interesting now, Slim. Of course, it's only a race to 13. And look at the mess that Brainfellout's in here. Well, I think there is a 2-railer to hit that around the corner, that 1 ball. But good luck with picking the line. I mean, if I was a diamond man, I would probably be able to pick that out. But I just go with the snooker vision, and that's you look at the line and pick what you think's the right line, and that's not a bad effort. Gets a hit, but of course, no idea if it was going to be safe. That is a good idea, that Cobra. I mean, that's why if it gets really interesting, then I might pop in. But you know, Stubb just he'll never learn. He will never learn. You know, he should be treating everybody exactly the same, and that's one big mistake he does, and he's leaking racks that he shouldn't be leaking. You know, but then again, Stubbs found VP4 is nothing like VP3. But also, again, in Stubbs' defence, and it's not often a come to his defence, but his life's changed. Where he's now working, and he doesn't have the table time like many of us. Back in the day when circumstances were different, Stubb was playing all the time, and so it's hard for him to sustain a level, and that's why he still thinks he can get in the mix, but we've seen all too often that he's just fallen short. and he's now in danger where he's not going to survive the one loss side. But he will battle. I know that. You know, I'll give credit to Stubb for that. He will battle. He won't give up. But again, Brainfellout struggling with these angles, and he's got away with it. So, quick look. Let me just do the update in this thing. That's better. I can't even read the scores. My eyes are completely gone. 8-5. Eight 6 now. Well, you can see that match is moving quicker than this one, because it's all the errors that prolongs these matches. It takes them probably 2 or 3 minutes longer on average to get a rack done. Well, that kiss in the 7 ball might not have done much harm. Now, once again, this is pretty straight in the 5, and if you take your medicine and just roll the 5 in and roll as far up as you dare, you've got the 6 ball into the side. You don't need to try any acrobatics. You just need to be brave enough to roll as far as you want on this 5 ball. I think if he rolls forward, I don't think the line will take him into the 9. I think if he just lets it run, he's on the 6. And again, I'm not sure what that's about, but he's left the cut. The 6 will go, but that's not the shot I would have played, because he's left himself hard work here. And this time he's picked it out. Now once again, you look at the 7 ball and you look at the angle. So the angle is there. So all you have to do is get off the rail, up this side, round about the side pocket again, or just beyond it, and don't scratch. That's the objective. And the pace looks decent enough. And the line isn't bad. So we'll give him his dues for that shot. So now the lead is 6. There's a big danger now for Poolkabouter. 1 ball has certainly gone in the side. Something else has disappeared as well. The 2 and the 8 have gone. No shot in the 3. Now will this bank? No, it won't. So he's got the choice. He can just try and lock behind the 6, or play the push out. And that's good enough. He ain't jumping that. Well, Stubb battling back. I told you he'd battle. So he might show a wee bit of common sense now that he's having to work to get himself back into the match. And again, that's no good. No, not anywhere near enough pace in that cue ball. and that doesn't do any good either. Not a good safety. But I think Brainfellout now, with the gap that he's got, you know, I think even though he's given Poolkabouter chances here, you know, it's still asking Poolkabouter to play a good shot here to go on this 6. I think all really, now that he's got the lead, all Brainfellout has to do is just share racks here or take opportunities like this when he's given them. And he'll get himself over the line soon enough. And this should be another one on the board. Well, the angle's on the 7 ball, so he should be over the right hand side to play this into the left hand corner pocket. I mean, the angle's perfect for just running over to the right hand side. So, should be double figures, just to roll in. Meanwhile, into rack number 14, and Brainfellout's come up dry. So, Poolkabouter. Now, is he one of these guys that doesn't hit the button until he's ready to shoot, or is he disconnected? Because that's what it looks like. I mean, there's too much of a delay here. This looks like a disconnect. And yeah, it looks very like it. He might have pulled the plug. He might have had enough. We don't know. Oh dear. Oh, the good thing about this is as tired as I am, I know that I can go to bed and just lie as long as, well, I don't really want to lie as long as I want to wake up for a game of cowboy in the morning. Well, Brainfellout's typing your shot. Poolkabouter's got a question mark, so obviously we've got a lag issue here. We might be out of sync. Yeah, I think something's going amiss with the room here. Well, he's still connected if he's typing in the chat. That's one thing, but yeah. Right, well, I think now would be a good time to bail out of this match for the time being. Do you think it's worthwhile jumping in and having a look? So we're 8 racks apiece. Have you got a dodgy connection, Poolkabouter? But are you saying are you saying he has a lot of these long pauses when he's playing? That's a bit annoying. Rabbi goes all out for the bank. Now I bet you if we try and get back into that room, we probably can't get back into it. Well, Stubb might take a risk here, hoping that he's still in the 3. And you see what happens. He took the risk for the breakout, and he's going to have to dig the jump stick out. He's got room to do it, so he shouldn't have a problem. Well, he's rescued his situation, so he took the risk in breaking the 7 and 5, and he's took the risk in chipping the 6, and he's landed on the 5. So it's looking very likely Stubb is going to take the lead now. So this will be 4 in a row for Stubb then. So he needs to get right out into the table. When he's leaving this long, he's leaving this way long. But he can go forward without a problem. So we'll give him that. And we'll head back across and see whether we'll get any joy in this other match. Well, we seem to be back underway. Brainfellout now with an 11-3 lead. And dry break. So it really is far too tall an order now, I think, for Poolkabouter to get back into this. Bearing in mind the amount of opportunities given to each other, I think Brainfellout, with as many errors that he's made, I think he'd basically need to fall apart to end up losing this. Now, I don't know how they resolved that situation. You obviously typed, hit Control Alt Delete and just kill the process and then relaunch VP4. I don't know whether that was done, but either way, it seems to have resolved itself. Just a drop in the 4. It should be, even though he's heading away from the 5, just drop it in dead weight, he's fine. Well, I think if you play this firm enough to bump the 8 ball firm enough, then you know you've got the 6 ball into the side. I mean, if you just dink it, you could graze the 8 ball and then you have to cut it into the side. Or you could do that and just hook yourself. You know, that's, again, at the risk of repeating myself, you can see where the problem lies, so you have to take evasive action. If it's hitting it a bit firmer to bump the 8, then do it. But don't stick yourself behind the 8. And again, it's possibly a rack that's got away there for Brainfellout. 4 balls to pot. Can Poolkabouter get his way out here? Yeah, he's pretty much odds on, you would think, looking at the shape of this table. Yeah, I can see where I think both of these players, where they fall short is not being prepared to get that cue ball into better shape. They're content to play the old VP way, which a lot of sort of 2000 rated players do, where they back off and they don't endeavour to have that cue ball moving in the right direction. They'd much rather bail out and play these longer shots and other shots where the cue ball has to start running. And you know, that's what then breaks up their game. It's why there's so many opportunities for each other. So what it boils down to is the confidence in able to execute certain shots, and it brings, as soon as they do that, as soon as they're prepared to have a go at it, they'll be amazed at how well their game improves. But it's just a question of whether they take that sort of stuff on board. Yeah, Stubbs been 8-5 down, so it's 5 in a row. And you know, he may well run away with it now. But mark my words that if it goes the pattern that I said it strongly looks like it could go, with the greatest respect to Mr. Fox's next opponent, and then the one after that, Hazard. Hazard could cause a problem for Mr. Fox, but if Mr. Fox pulls through, he's going to be the big test for Stubb. But there's, you know, been loads of occasions where Mr. Fox has fallen short of the mark when it's been required to survive in these tournaments. But I'm pretty certain that either Hazard or Mr. Fox, if it comes about, would certainly be more capable of maybe being more punishing to Stubb. I mean, that's not to say that Rabi hasn't done well to get that lead, but you know, maybe part of that was Stubbs' carelessness. I don't know, but I'm guessing that Stubb played his part in it. So a consolation rack, you know, it's probably down to damage limitation now for Poolkabouter. You know, he's got a long way back, but you know, this table here, if he's looked at the table and decided on how he's going to deal with this 3 ball, because it's really got to be from the middle of the table to cut it and squeeze past the 9 to get to it. He's trying to run around to somehow find some sort of shot in the three, whereas the planned shot is trying to get into the middle of the table, into an awkward spot to play the cut, and things like that. You know, if that was like Spectre Dawn would have been in the middle of the table to play that 3-ball cut. And so would a few other players. They wouldn't have been trying to get down there and get lucky. Now, has he got enough cover in this? Yes, he has. Well, Brainfellout got the hit in the 3, but he didn't hit it hard enough to try and get that 3 somewhere up table near a rail. And I'm afraid, well, Poolkabouter, if he's in the Netherlands, then it's past midnight his time, and that shot there was very much a shot of somebody that's past midnight. But again, no confidence to play the shot and get the cue ball back into the table and on the 4. Well, good evening to Bill. No, but see, that's the thing. I'm not seeing YouTube chat on this now. This is doing my head in. I'll just have to look back at my second monitor again. Now, see, this is why I said that I'm probably now and in the future sticking to matches where we know that there is a higher standard of player, because I get far too critical, and you know, people just think I'm moaning and moaning and moaning, but I'm seeing where these players are going wrong, and I think I'm doing the right thing to point it out. If only they'd take it on board. You know, he should never have been hooked in the 5-ball. And it's another little opportunity here for Poolkabouter to get another rack the board. Now, he can push this in and spin the cue ball and get out into the table. And again, that's just almost there. He's come down the narrow side. Well, this is... well, when you look at their ratings, you know, they're 2,000 rated players, so their ratings shoot up and down like a yo-yo. And we can see why they do. Now, Stubb has... well, that's a good finish for Stubb, because he was 8-5 down. I said he would battle, and I think we could decide that he finally got his game into gear one way or another, and he's won 8 in a row to win the match. So that's the first part of the pattern complete. Stubb going through, and now Stubb has to sit and wait and see how things shape up in that other part of the bracket as to who he's going to be playing. So, quick look while this is going on. We'll see that Stubb goes through. This is what I was talking about. Mr. Fox plays Simax. Now, I think Fox would either need to not show up, not play the match, and fall apart at the seams if he's not going to be too strong to overcome Simax. Alright, and then he should be playing Hazard. Now, if Hazard goes into the match thinking, well, I'm just here to make up the numbers, I've got no chance, and if he doesn't apply himself, then he'll lose. But if Hazard gets his thinking cap on, he can stay with Mr. Fox, and he's got a chance of going through. But Fox will still be favourite, and then it'll be Fox versus Stubb, and then it'll be interesting. Well, that's what I'm thinking as well. I'm thinking he won't show. He's got a tendency to do that in these things. In fact, what is it? Is it a couple of days the deadline is or something like that? It won't be long until it's over. Steve will know whether there's any proposals been sent. Yeah, you see, that's never a good sign. You know, you've got to have the stomach for the fight. What's the point in signing up for these things in the first place? You know, he fell out. What was that match he was playing in? Let's have a look. Let me have a look. What was the one? Because I watched that match and he was complaining it was too late and he was tired and all that. Now, fair enough. It might well have been too late and tired, but he agreed to the match. Let's have a look. Where was he? I can't find the bloody thing. I thought if you're supposed to press his name, it would show you where he is in the other bit of the bracket, but it doesn't. Oh, there he is. Yeah, the match against Bankster. You know, that match against Bankster, if you saw that match, you know, it was neck and neck for a good while in that match, about 13 racks all it was. And Bankster, I mean, Hazard might complain that it was getting late and whatever, but Bankster drilled him in the last 7 or 8 racks. There was no way Hazard was winning that match because his opponent was far too good right at the right time. And, you know, he wasn't playing that he was going to win it because he never got an awful lot of chances in Bankster when he had the table. He ran out. So Brainfellout notches another one on the board. And again, for any latecomers, not that I need to tell Slim, because he already knows that, the winner of this match will be playing Slim in round 4. And I think, let's be honest, I don't think Slim will be losing any sleep over whoever he plays out of this match. Slim will be far too much going on upstairs for any of these two guys to be able to deal with. I think I can confidently state that. Now here we go again. What's happening here? I can see the queue, but I can't see an awful lot going on in terms of playing a shot. Oh, here we go. Come to life. Now, of course, he's lined up the combo. Brainfellout should just get the cue ball around and out into the table for the 2-5 combo. That's unmissable. Well, he just wants to bump this in and get the cue ball back into the table slightly. Now you see, that almost went wrong. He should have run that cue ball into the shot rail and back into the table, because now he's running the cue ball loose again. You see, little things like that again is the things that you have to be thinking about, that sort of stuff. And clearly, Brainfellout isn't thinking about that. He's running all over the shop here, hoping he gets on the 3 ball, and that is a level that you don't want to stick yourself at. You have to be brave enough and get the shots done in the right manner, or endeavour to do it, and that wasn't endeavouring to do it in the right way. Dropping that 2 onto that ball to make the combo and getting the cue ball off the shot rail into the table gives you much better opportunity to get a better control in that cue ball rather than just having to run it. And the inevitable happens. Well, if there's something to be learned, Brainfellout, it's watch this match and listen to some of the criticism and take it on board. Because if you did, it would change your game. You've just got to be brave enough to start taking these shots in the right manner. And likewise for Poolkabouter as well, because the two of these players are pretty evenly matched, I would suggest. I don't think there's an awful lot of difference between them, because the two of them are in the same nasty habit, where they're just not comfortable, and maybe it's that little lack of knowledge as well. To be fair to them, they're just not comfortable enough to be getting that cue ball running in the right line, and that's why they're sort of stuck in and around this sort of level, and they're not moving on. They're not raising their game up to that little bit higher level, where they then become a worry. As soon as you see a player playing and they start moving the cue ball in the general direction of where they want to go, then you start worrying, because you're thinking, this guy's got an idea of what he's doing. Now, these guys are all right as long as they can see a ball and it's got a hole to get into, because they'll have a go at it a lot of the times. But it's the follow-up ball that, the thing that Steve was talking about and I blunder on about for hours and hours. Get the plan right, know where you're going, and then make the move. And I don't think it's undue criticism of either of them to suggest them a number of things they should be doing to put their game into a better place. So the little bank, now that's banked. The fact that didn't go in, it went the right way though. It went to the rail and it's finished the top rail, and that's pretty safe. I know what I'd be doing here. It wouldn't be that. It'd be the left English and run the cue ball down this end and send that one ball in behind the 5, because there's too much room to jump over this. I think the cue's got to go a higher angle than that to get the jump. I might be wrong. I'm no expert at jumping. Well, that's higher. But is it too high? No, it's perfect. Now a nice little kiss off the 9, but the 9's come into play, and I think it's tied up the 2. Well, no, the 2 goes. The 2 will go. You can see it goes. It's got a clean path past the 9, just and no more. He didn't fancy it. Now he has to try and get cover. I think he's almost got it. Well, that's good enough. That's not left anything that Poolkabouter can make an awful lot out of it, I don't think. I think Brainfellout can see enough of the 2. He can certainly do that. But he's not got an awful lot of options with the cue ball now. He pots the 2 and he comes straight across without scratching. He'll have at least a sight in the 3 ball. I don't think he wants to be too ambitious here. All he's got to worry about is a scratch. And again, he's trying to do things with the cue ball when he should be just taking his medicine and getting the pot and getting over here. Over here you've still got a shot in the 3. He's trying to get, he's trying to do something, which is why he ended up missing the 2, and he's nowhere on the 3 ball. Now, wouldn't do any harm to try and stun into that 5 ball and stay top side of the 3, because if you don't have a pot, you can at least bury Poolkabouter. Well, he's just grazed it, but at least he's got a sight in the 3, and now he's got a choice of what he wants to do. But what he does want to do is cut this into the side, get the cue ball off the rail and back into the table for the 4. Well, it's tough. It's tough. And here comes the opportunity again for Brainfellout. I mean, I must admit, Chimpy will know more than I do, but I don't see Poolkabouter being a regular player. Again, I don't know what age group he's in. I know nothing about him. But he doesn't. I don't notice whether he's a tournament player on a regular basis. I don't see him in the lobby on a regular basis. He might be on at times. I'm in bed. That cue ball looks as if it's tracked to the hole. So, you know, table time very much is something that if you can get it, you can certainly get better. Another chance to sort of try and tidy up the scoreboard a bit here for Poolkabouter. I think he's slightly the wrong angle than 6. And again, he's just left that short. You know, another 4 or 5 inches to the left. It's a lot more comfortable. Now the cue ball's running. And he's dug into it to control it, and that's not bad. But you don't want to be running the cue ball at that pace off a 9 ball into a corner like that, because you know, another 6 inches that they've been in the hole probably. But another one on the board, and he's certainly got a ball, but he's not got a pot. But I think he can bank this one, and if he just puts a wee bit of right on it, he might be able to. In fact, it looks as if he's heading the other way. I thought he could have maybe tried to get that cue ball in behind the 6 there. Might have been too much angle though. Well, it's coming up 90 minutes for this match. Coming up to 11:30 UK time, that is. Well, your Brainfellout was oh, there's Paul. See, I didn't even know Paul was here. Good evening to Paul, because as I say, the YouTube chat's not coming through this on-screen app that I've got now. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something from this morning. It would have been about, what, was it this morning or was it early afternoon? I went into Shooter's Pool. Oh, there's Biggs joined. I went into Shooter's Pool the first time I've been in for weeks, because I always generally just go in and have a look around, see if anything's changed, see that they've now got their merchandise there. You can get Shooter's Pool t-shirts and caps. So they've got the merchandise up and running. Do you know, have a guess how many were online in Shooter's Pool? Have a guess. Give me your numbers. Bear in mind that VP4 at that time had 22 people in the lobby. Guess how many were in Shooter's Pool. And I know it for a fact because I stood out my chair so I could read the top of the screen, because it tells you in the top of the screen in Shooter's Pool. 356. 356 people were online and playing in Shooter's Pool. Their numbers are flying up. So they are. So they're doing a lot of things right. That's drawing in customers. 356, that's the most I've ever seen in it. Now, either they're falsifying numbers or it's telling the truth. The only thing is that today they were doing maintenance, so you couldn't see who was in the lobby to count people, and you couldn't go to the forum to check the change log today because those two things were down for maintenance. Well, it might read as shite, but it said 356. I wasn't seeing things. What I'm basically saying is, there's always more people on there than there is in VP4, and it annoys me. Now, this is a bit straight in the two ball, so the odds are it's going to be a thin cut down the rail on that 3. Again, you shouldn't be trying to do anything heroic, and that isn't it. I have not got a clue what is going through Brainfellout's head, because that's awful to be running the cue ball up there like that. I mean, it's just a hit and hope that you get somewhere near the 3, and that's no good. I think I'll stay. I think Chimpy sort of coaxed me into doing this match. I'm blaming him because I think I'm going to stick to what I see as what's more than likely going to be a good match, because I end up, as I say, getting far too critical, and I don't think it's undue criticism. You'll tell me if it is or if it isn't, but I start ranting and raving with these guys. Half the results in their big tourneys are walkovers. You mean there's more people there are more people don't show up in shooters than VP4. See, I think the other thing is a lot of these people are probably, again, not familiar with the tourney system, and a lot of them haven't a clue. It's a bit like the NRT tournaments were in the beginning. You know, in the beginning of the NRT tournaments, I mean, these NRT tournaments generally have the same people signing up for them most of the time now, so they're all familiar with how it runs. You know, and we don't get an awful lot of forfeits, give or take the odd one or two. You know, again, you know, a basic miss again there by Brainfellout. But I have not. I think I'll tell you the last time I went to Shooter's Pool and actually into a room, I set a room on my own. That was when they launched Cowboy, and obviously 2 or 3 people in there were suggesting Cowboy as a game, and the guys went and put it in, and nobody plays it. I went in and tested the Cowboy snooker that they had. And any time you drop in there and look, you'll never see a Cowboy game. In fact, the 2 brothers were in today. I noticed they were in the list of players. George and what's the other one? Jorge and the other one. I think his name begins with M. The 2 of them are in. So Brainfellout is creeping slowly, and I say slowly, towards the finishing line, but Poolkabouter's nipping the odd rack. And now the big test, getting onto this 9 ball. Now the angle on the 8 might be a bit straight, but let's have a look. See, there's no problem with this going forward and just getting the pace to let it run down this way. If you start putting English on it to straighten it for no reason, you see, that's what he's done there, I think. That looks as if it's what he's done. And that's why he's ended up missing the 8 ball. You know, the angle they had was enough to go to this rail and let it run down this side. And he went and looks to me that he checked it up with right English to bring it back down the other way and consequently missed the 8 ball. And now you've got Poolkabouter pinching another rack back, and suddenly it's 13-9. Yeah, the chat in the Shooter's Pool, oh, it's bloody annoying. It really is. Yeah, I don't like that setup. So Brainfellout's got ball in hand, right? He's really got no way he's going to get good on this this 3 ball, this 2 ball. So I think he's quite well within his rights to have a bang at this 1-9. I mean, you know, I've not got anything against that. Now, when did he type that? He's typed there, quick toilet break. Has he actually had it? Because I've missed it if he has. Obviously, he's been in back. And this match could still turn because Brainfellout is struggling to run balls, as is Poolkabouter, and basically anything could still happen in this game. This is going to scratch if he doesn't get into the cue ball. Well, with this, you hit this in with pace, and you go forward, and you maybe a tiny tad of right, just to make sure you try and miss traffic. But you might not even have needed it there. So now, Brainfellout needs to just dig into the cue ball a wee bit here. Now, either that or he can go forward and around the corner, but you just have to judge the pace, because you're going to be on the 5 ball as long as you're good on the 4. Well, nothing to do with the cue ball other than focus and pot in the 4 and just watch the pace. Now, everything's going to end up at distance here, and even this 6 ball, if he doesn't get the right line on this 6 ball at distance, it then makes it more awkward getting in the 7. Let's have another look around, see what he's doing here. Yeah, well, I would just go forward and let it run back into the table. Just like that. Now, again, what's the simplest thing to do here? Go forward and come back up the table, put it in the side. You know, that's what to do. You're just rolling through, that'll do it. If he's comfortable with that. But the problem with that is, you know, if you were playing it in the side, it's easier getting on the 9. Now he's drawing back and no knowing how much spin he's going to have on this. So it's the old VP4 escape route, and now he's left to one of these out of the 3 or 4 that he's had and struggle with them. But again, I tend to look at this shot and I look round once and that's it. I don't spend my time umming and ahhing over it. You either see the angle or you don't. But he's got there. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. Now, he is, Brainfellout's taking a little break.
Mistakes here. We just have happy accidents.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Welcome to VP4 TV, a tactical genius production. Here is a list of upcoming matches in the 2023 Virtual 9-Ball World Championships. I try to stream what I think will be the best matches to watch and offer a good standard of play. Please subscribe to my YouTube and Twitch channels so you can join in the stream chat.
Good evening to Rob. No Steve today. So, off we go. Poolkabouter. Trailing by 5. Playing the push out, and again, that is no good as a push out. I mean, that is, again, not thought out at all. And he should be buried here. He should be well and truly buried if he's not even left the 1-8 combo up the rail. Well, that's buried. And that was, you know, again, at the risk of harping on something where the player has not thought anything about what he's doing. Not giving it a moment's thought about the push out. But I'm hedging my bets that we have barely saw a run out in this match, and we all know why. In fact, I don't even think I'll bother looking at the stats for this match at the end of it, because I think they'll be too scary. And there's a lot of things that, you know, it's up to the players if they want to improve. But they want to watch some of these streams and maybe listen to one or two things that are said and don't take things the wrong way. Because there's a lot of things they're doing that are very simple to fix, especially the choice of shot there for a push out. You know, get a bit wiser to what's going on round about you. And again, a terrible shot. You know, you've got to look at the line where you're pushing that 6 ball and where you want to leave the cue ball. He's trying to leave the cue ball behind the 7, so he's bunted the 6 ball around the angles right into the 9 and left it on. And here's another chance for Poolkabouter to pinch a rack back here, get to double figures. Suddenly the scoreboard doesn't look quite so bad. Now he's going to run up the table here. He's got to run far enough though, and that isn't any good either. You know, you might say, Steve might say, oh, that's fine, there's not a problem for maybe somebody like, you know, Larry, Spectre, Don or Slim. But Poolkabouter wants to be staring these down to make sure they're going in. But he's got one. And from a really poor safety, wrong button.
Put 'em up.
Really poor safety from Brainfellout. So Poolkabouter's breaks dry. Brainfellout has an ambitious 1-5 combo if he fancies it. Again, he can duck for cover here. He can send the one onto the short rail and come back up the table. See that? That's absolutely no good whatsoever. You know, the shot there for me was just cut that onto the long rail, onto the short rail, and get yourself run up the table here. And this is just given far too many chances here for Poolkabouter. Okay, he's going to struggle to run out, but he might end up in a strong position here and have Brainfellout in trouble. Now this isn't too bad. Now this, I think, just needs a little dink along the rail. That 4 ball goes, and he should have looked at that, and he has. The only problem now is he's got to get right into the cue ball here. This has got to come back into the rail and out onto the table for the 5. Needs to run. That is not bad as far as getting a shot in the 5. Problem now is the 6 now. Can he just drop this in dead weight? I think he can. And again, playing those soft little shots, you've got to get the line right to start with. He was fine for dropping the 6 in, and Brainfellout may well got off the hook here. Story of the match, this. All these mistakes and errors are giving each other loads and loads of chances here. And Brainfellout might be glad of the cushion he's got at the moment. And he's still not out here yet. He's got to get from that 8 ball up to the 9. And that's not a guarantee. Well, I think everybody knows what I'd be doing here. This is running 3 rails. And there's no way I'm not going to have a shot in the 9 unless I scratch. Just get the pace into the cue ball and you're going to finish right hand side. And that's a nice pace. So, another one closer to the end goal for Brainfellout. 15 racks to 10. Five ball goes in, 7 ball goes in. Bumping the 2 would be handy. That's nice. And again, here's a table where he should be out. And he's looking around and looking around and looking around. There's nothing to look at because all you have to do is run forward and around and out, and you're on the 2. And again, absolutely terrible shot. I mean, that's more or less a stun shot. That is just no clue what he's up to there whatsoever. And I think he's a far better player than this. I mean, that's where he's fallen short, way short of any sort of half decent level to cause any problems for anybody further on in this tournament. Now, that 2-9, now what's Poolkabouter doing here? Is he actually looked at the 2-9? No, it isn't. Well, I think, this isn't going to cause a great deal of problem for Brainfellout to hit the 2. But looking at the table, there's a strong chance here that Poolkabouter might have nick another rack here if Brainfellout can't get this 2 ball somewhere awkward. And here's his chance, although it's a bit tight to the rail now. That stayed off the rail, it would have been a wee bit more comfortable. Now he's running around the table here. And if it just slows up, that'll do nicely as far as sighting the 3 goes. Again, it's a bit straight. Not an awful lot of options with this cue ball here. And that is almost there. Again, looking at the line here, if he took the bank, he's not running at the 9, but if he runs it this way, he's going to be hitting this 9 ball with the look of it. And there you go. So if you're going to run into the 9 ball, what do? You hit it a lot harder so that you at least try and run off the 9 ball somewhere and get up the table. And his chance might go if this doesn't double bank. Oh, he might get away with it though. I think he's got away with it. Yeah. Well, that's a scratch every day of the week. That is definitely a scratch. Now let me have a look. Can he feather that? That's going to catch the point. I don't think it will drop in. He's going to try and kick it in. Well, he doesn't want to go too narrow too soon, or he's just going to kick the inside of the 6. That was a good effort. Well, now, once again, Poolkabouter has a choice here. If he goes for the cut from the left side, he's the danger of scratching. And he's going for it, but this looks very close to a scratch. Well, it didn't scratch because he didn't have the line. Again, it's a rack that's up for grabs. Whoever can get the 6 ball, see the 8 and deal with that. And once again, Poolkabouter's getting another chance, and he's got to take it this time. No way he's not going to be in the 8 ball, but anything but straight again. And, well, Again, he's missed it the right side. Now, this is a good bank, this 6 ball. Nice pace, and it will bank every day of the week, this 6 ball. And that might hold the line, and there you go. And there's a nice little angle in this 8 ball, just enough to pinch, even if you just need to pinch a little bit. And dig into the cue ball and come across the table, miss the scratch. He's running 3 rails again by the looks of it. You see, this at that pace had a chance of finishing on top of the 9, but he's fortunate enough he stayed short of it. But he should have probably dug in and come back the way to the right side. But there is another one for Brainfellout. So this match is going to go over 2 hours. So it's dry. Now once again, Poolkabouter has to get out into the table. I don't believe that he played that as a safety. He played to pot that. He didn't want to run into the 2 because I think he wanted to get up above the 2 and play the 2-8 combo. So, right, you'll get ball in hand. This is tight in the pocket. Really tight in the pocket. Now, if you went that way, I don't know even whether you've got enough room to actually get the ball and stun up. And that's going to spin and hold. The English that was on the cue ball was going to hold it out of the pocket. Earl Strickland, I haven't been watching a lot of the 9-ball league, the 9-ball Champions League that's going on in the moment in Leicester, but Earl was 2-0 up against Jason Shaw, and I think it's well and truly right in saying that age is catching up with Earl, because he was missing an awful lot. I mean, admittedly, the things he was missing, they weren't exactly gimmies, but then you saw Jason Shaw from 2-0 down, and all of the shots that Earl was struggling with, Jason Shaw wasn't so much as blinking when he got to the table, and won 5 in a row to win the match. I think at that time Earl had won 4 of his matches, so I think Earl's struggling to qualify for the sort of finishing stages of it. Shane Van Boning had won only 6 of his matches. I think there's one guy who had won 11. Now, if this bounces, they may well have the cut in the 5. The big problem again is the 7-ball keeping this cue ball down here. Well, he's back to 5, and that's well done. Now, a little dinky cut in the 6, or just let it run up and down, and you're on the 7. Oh dear. Oh, this is about all the ones that have gotten away, but more so for Poolkabouter than Brainfellout, has to be said, because obviously Brainfellout's in the lead. And this is, again, it's got to be played with the run through to come off the rail and back into the table. The angle's there because you're going to bump the side rail, so you just let it run. So it's another one. And we're now 2 hours for this match. I think that's dry. I didn't hear anything going. So Poolkabouter now. I think he just wants it over. Again, just hit the 2 ball. Not that he had an awful lot of options on it. He could only see the edge of it, but he could have pushed out. So 6 ball is on the rail, but I think that's the 4 ball that's blocked the pass. So once the 4 ball's out of the way, there isn't a problem. You know, I think I will look at the stats at the end of this match. It's not going to be pretty reading. And I think shot percentage will be worth looking at. Well, the 1 ball's back to where it was at the start. It's right behind the 2 again. And Brainfellout's going to have to kick. Easy kick. I mean, the lines there between the 3 and 7, you can't miss the kick in this 1 ball. Problem is that it's going to be held there by the 2. Well, he's going from the short side. And it's going to be left on. Well, I think you've got to get the stun into the cue ball here to miss the 9. And there's loads of room to do that, I think. And he's failed straight away again. Didn't see it. Not aware of the problem. You see, this is where, again, I'm ranting again, but this is where players don't see the trouble. And it's just simple knowledge. You know, you see the problem there. The little voice in your head should tell you you're going to hit that 9. So you need to do the right thing to avoid that 9, and not being able to not knowing that shot and not playing it often enough. Therefore, you don't play it and you just ride your luck. Like a lot of these players do, start bumping into balls when they don't need to, or they should be avoiding, and there goes the end of the visit. Well, Poolkabouter can only see one little bit of the 3 ball. He might be able to bank this up amongst the other balls. Well, he's had a slash, got lucky. But I think he just wants to get to his bed like I do. Right, little dinky cut in the 4, nothing to do to go on the 5. So the next objective then is, from this 5 ball, how can I get on this 6 ball? And the one way to do it would be to leave it in the short side like that and run it up past the side pocket. So this has to just run completely forward and run the cue ball up as well for the 7 into the side. And he hasn't got there. That ball there should have been a foot further up the table to have it at least there, where all you're doing is, you know, stunning the 7 in, getting yourself to about there on the 8, because there's enough of the 8 ball to pot it. Well, no harm in trying the thin cut into the side if he thinks he can do it. It maybe looks far too thin from that angle yet. I think it will still go though, and you can maybe get lucky and get a bump in the 8 and 9, although you don't really need to, but there might be no harm in doing it. He's going the other way. Now, that's perfect. That's an excellent shot.
Let's watch the replay of that last
I think
shot.
he's got enough of the 8 ball there. Oh yes, he's got enough of that 8 ball. And in fact, if he just dinks it in, he shouldn't be letting the 9 ball bounce out. See, now it's gone outward. Again, even that shot just needed to be a simple bump. Just bump the 8 in, the 9 ball stays there or thereabouts near the rail, and you're running it into this bottom right hand corner pocket. Poolkabouter better get ready here. He might be getting a goal. There you go. And this 9 ball is going to keep rolling. It's going to keep rolling. And, well, it's another consolation rack for Poolkabouter, but all because Brainfellout didn't play the sensible shot. The little dinking 8 ball make his life very easy. Stop the 9 ball running away up the table, keep it close to the rail, and you get a roll up the table into the corner. Game over. On the hill. Well, I'm gonna say to Brainfellout, get him go watch this this video. He's got to watch this and at least listen to some of the ranting I've been doing. Don't be scared of playing your shots. But maybe another thing to do is to start working on technique with shots. Understanding how the English is going to work for you in certain situations. Because that's all it needs. It needs that wee bit more understanding of what you're doing, and you become a much better player. There's not an awful lot needed there. And then the other major thing to me is just the thought process, because the thought process is something that's sorely lacking in a lot of players that hover in and around this 1900, 200, 2000 mark. And it makes them so inconsistent they can't string balls together. They end up getting themselves awkward because they're not playing the right shots, and it's not an awful lot they have to do to make themselves a better player. If only they'd grasp that and understand that part of it. So, Poolkabouter, again, you've got to look at the obvious thing that can go wrong here. He's got to get out into the table for this 9 ball. So that's the objective. Get out into the table. He's got the angle. So a nice firm stun would get you the result. See, he's not hit it. He's not hit it. It needed to be out there, and then you're staring down the 9 ball. Now he's got the cut, and he should still be getting this. But you want to be that wee bit more comfortable if you're any of these two guys. I think he's just gonna run out of racks, I'm afraid. I think, you know, sooner or later Brainfellout's gonna fall over the line. I don't think there's much doubt in that. Break is dry, and Brainfellout has got loads of places to hide here. And that ain't no good. So there is a start for Poolkabouter. I think he's a bit straight in the 1 though for comfort. Yeah, there's a wee angle there. And that's just enough to give him the straight in 2. So now it's a little drawback. Now he's not going to draw back, I think. He's going to stud it, and he's left himself with more work to do from this position. You know, that's just making your life far too difficult. Now, Brainfellout needs to get deep into the pocket. He'll skim around the angles here. He could easily jump this and jump it by hitting, you know, the jaw and the ball at the same time. That way he'll get the cue ball out of there. Well, he's just caught it. Can still see the 4. So in with a chance to get within 1 of the next round. But I fear that regardless whoever wins this match, it's looking very likely to be Brainfellout, apart from the fact he's now got himself hooked behind the 5. Their time in the winner's side is very much up. They are no longer going to be in this side of the tournament come the next match. And that may well do. It's a good enough result. Well, just skimmed the 5 and no more, and ends up with a half decent safety at the end of it. Now, let's have a look. I think I would give this a wee pop and try the billiard in the 9. I think he's just ran far enough again. Well, if he doesn't scratch, that's a good shot. I think the 5 will cut past the 7. Yes, it will. Now, it's also not a bad back. He's trying to duck behind the 7. And hasn't quite got there. Yeah, 2 hours and 12 minutes. And most of it's been tortuous to watch. Well, again, you know, he's looking around and looking around. It just needs a wee bit of dig in the cue ball. Pump that 5 ball into the corner. Stay the top side. See, again, he's chickened out. See, that's where he's going wrong. He's chickened out there. And it needed a little stunt and stay the top side of the 6. So you're rolling into the side, dropping down for the 7. It's staring you in the face where Brainfellout's going wrong. Far too often, he's just chickening out and playing the correct shot and bailing out to these long things where, you know, as Steve would say, cinching a ball from distance because he gets away with it a lot of the time. And then everything else fails because he hasn't played the right shot to get the right shot shape on the next ball. And thereby the run ends. Now, he may well get out here and get to the hill, but that's immaterial. He's just not gone about it the right way with any confidence. And this is a guy sitting 5 racks in the lead. So we're almost there. And I don't know about you guys, but I'll be glad it's over. And I should have went to bed. So, couple of balls in the break. And now again, here we go. Now this time, this is where you can play your little bailout shot. Just roll the one ball in, come out into the table off the rail, and you're staring down the two ball. That's all you need to worry about, is just potting the one ball. You've nothing else to do. And again, hit far too heavy. Far too much weight on it, and again he's now awkward. And if he again plays this right and rolls it in and comes around and out, he can get, well, he's trying to really hold it, but he should have let it run in and come around and out, maybe into the gap. He could have ended up hooking himself. I mean, fair play to him, made a good go at it, and he's almost got away with it. Now, is the line there to kick that too? Yes, it is. I don't think that's a bad line. That's a good hit. Well, and Poolkabouter can nip another one back. Just a kill shot here. Now, again, quick look at the angle he's got. Again, with me, that I'm putting this forward. He's leaving himself square. But once again, nothing to do but drop the 8 ball in. You know, nothing to be fancy about. And a straight in 9 to nip another one back. Well, the 9 and 5 are stone dead. They've not moved an inch, I don't think. And about 3 or 4 balls have gone in. The 1's gone, the 2's gone, the 3's gone, the 8's gone. He's on the 2, so immediately got to start thinking straight away what he's doing here. Now, this has got to run. It's got to run at least so he can get down the bottom end here. Because I don't think, in fact, he actually overhit it now that I look at it. The 5 does go into that corner. And that's an excellent shot. Now he needs to just keep rolling and finish below the 6. So he can see it into 2 pockets here. And, oh, he's going to finish on top of the 7. Oh dear. Well, this could be your last shot, Poolkabouter. And that's well done. But here we go. Big pressure here to survive. And it's game over, folks. That was a good effort from Poolkabouter. A good effort, but to no avail. The match is complete unless Brainfellout scratches somewhere, which he's not going to do. So well done to him. Well, as a result, and he's through, and he now plays one pocket slim in round 4. And as I said, it's going to be a tough ask for Brainfellout, and it's going to be immediate damage limitation as soon as he's getting into that match. So before we go, we will have a quick look at the stats. I don't think this is going to be all that pretty, but we'll have a look. Poolkabouter, I think that's his name. And, oh shit. Right, let's try that and Brainfellout. And delete that. Go. Right, we've got break stats, 19 breaks. Yeah. Well, Brainfellout actually had 2 runouts. I'm surprised that there was any. Break percentage 47 and 61. One scratch in the break. Racks high run 1. Racks run 2, but look at Poolkabouter. There's not an awful lot there to be happy about. Good evening to Chris. Yeah, IQ2 was watching the stream earlier on. He probably get bored and went for dinner. So yeah, not a lot of great reading there in that match. So that remains. I think there's 4 matches remaining on the bracket. Let's have a quick final look at that. So we've got Spud Boy and Snake Eyes, who will be going in about 12:30, 2 hours time, and that is a 1-loss side match. And then of course my next match that I'm streaming is Mr. Bill and Chimpy. That'll be Saturday night at 7 PM, and then midweek next week, unless there's anything in between, it'll be LS3 against Nick. That should be a very interesting match to watch. You know, Nick is pretty good at running out when there's a table there to be running out. He's been very good at getting the job done, that side of things. And LS3 is going to have a tough match there. And then, of course, we've got the next big match. And now there is the possibility here. There is a strong possibility that Cobra and Albinario could end up both in the 1-loss side in among Stubb if Spectre Don has his way. So that's one to look forward to. I should be there for that as well. So with that, folks, it is late for me, but it's still great to have your company. And thanks for watching. And I'll bid you good night. Take care. And I'll see you again soon, folks.
Good night, ladies. Put 'em up. Put 'em up.